everyone, it's Sharonda from Payorwait, and today I'm going to be recapping episodes 6 through 8 of season 4 of Love is Blind. There's so much to talk about. It's very little time to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as I possibly can, but I have so many thoughts. So we're going to start with episode 6 and talk about Bliss and Zach. I was like, Bliss, girl, stand up. I hope that Netflix gave you some extra money to go sit down and talk to Zach Raggedy behind, because there will be nothing. The only thing that would convince me to go sit down and talk to that boy would be a bag, okay? So I hope that you secured, okay, your extra money in order to sit there and talk to Zach. And what killed me is while they were sitting there, I was just like, so Zach, you gonna have the audacity to then sit and complain about Irina, the woman that you chose over the only choice you should have had was Bliss? You gonna sit there and talk about how, like, you know, she didn't even want to touch me, and she didn't like when I made eye contact. He bothered by that eye contact. When he asked her that, I know he's still bothered. And that's why Zach gets on my nerves, because you would not be with Bliss if Irina had actually liked you. And he's still hurt by this. Because why are you asking this girl, is my eye contact okay with you? Oh, just, Lord, just heal his heart. Heal his heart, okay? When he made the comment about saying your voice doesn't match your body, what is that supposed to mean? Like, I was like, sir, if this is you trying to get her back, like, baby, you're not winning, okay? You're failing. So, I was just like, he was like, well, you know, I'm not trying to, like, win you over anything. So why were we at dinner? Because that would have been my question. So why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here right now? It doesn't make any sense as to why I'm here, what's going on. If you're not trying to win me back, what am I doing here? I really hope that Netflix gave her a bag, because this is very disturbing to me at this point in time. So, talk about Chelsea and Kwame. So, what really bothered my spirit about Chelsea and Kwame is, you know, they're all leaving, they're moving into their places together. When Kwame jumped on the bed with his outside clothes on, it just sent shivers up my spine. But what killed me was when he had to get on Chelsea, like, I know you ain't got your shoes in the bed. I mean, it's clear that you don't care, because you already disrespected your man by getting in it with your outside clothes on. So I was just very confused as to what was happening and the audacity of him to even say something to her about it. But when he got to her place, that he was like, oh, it's just so much pink. And I was like, it is a lot of pink, girl. Like, I mean, even you got to admit, it was a little bit too much pink for my comfort. But, you know, she went through a breakup, and, you know, it was her first time moving out, you know, by herself again. And I was like, okay, girl, I guess the pink got you through it. But he didn't have to call her out about not flushing the toilet. I was just like, don't act like you didn't forget to flush the toilet a couple of times when you live by yourself. Like, chill out. You didn't have to come for her like that, Kwame. And honestly, sometimes it be feeling like Kwame don't really like her. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I just get the feeling that he don't really like her like that. And I do think that she could be low-key annoying, because how she was stressing him out about meeting, you know, her father. You already saw this boy wanted to change his name to Alex because he be having problems meeting all these white girls, white daddies. So, like, you know he already on edge as it is. So you gonna make it even worse? Like, chill out. Just take a chill pill. Like, I don't understand what's going on. This man already got PTSD, trying to talk to all these white women and meet all these white mamas and daddies, and probably getting kicked out. So just let him breathe for a little bit. Just let him breathe, Chelsea. I just felt like you was doing a lot in that episode for no reason. But let's get to Micah and Paul. So Irina thinks it's a bright idea to tell Micah that she's attracted to Paul before they leave Mexico, okay? And then Micah asks Paul about it. So this is the part that I didn't like about this whole interrogation, because I was like, Micah, so let me get this straight. You're upset about him flirting, or potentially Irina flirting and him flirting back. But maybe if you weren't so busy talking to Kwame and flirting with him, touching his ass, touching his body, being disrespectful, like, then you might have some space to talk. But how you gonna know what's going on? You probably would have seen it if you weren't too busy flirting with somebody else's fiance. Haven't make sense, because it don't make sense. And then for her to really try to put it on him, like, well, can I trust you? Like, can he trust you? She really tried to, like, make that more than what it was. And that's why I just low-key, I just don't feel like Micah likes him. But I'll hold out, okay? So then they started talking about Zach and Irina. And when she was like, well, Zach does, you know, can easily be laughed at. I was like, it's clear Micah doesn't like Zach. And I'm okay with this, but I was dying. But my girl said she ready for her back to be blown out because Paul was like, what you want to do tonight? She was like, bitch, you know what I'm trying to do tonight? And then he was like, fine, say less. And I was just like, but was it okay? Because he was like, oh, you're an early riser. Like, you jumped out of bed. I was like, was it good? Did you get around 2, 3, 4, 5? Like, because the way that you was ready, and then you just up here, up and at him. Was it good or was it not good? I'm just trying to understand. But we see that Paul ends up going to meet up with Zach, which I'm just like, Paul, I really want you to never take advice from Zach. Zach will be the last person on this earth that I would tell you to take advice from. I would actually tell you to take advice from Irina before I would tell you to take advice from Zach. Because that boy, he don't know what he don't know what he wants. He don't know what he's talking about. And, you know, we see that Micah and Irina, they meet up with each other. Wait, I'm sorry. Baby, why did Irina, like, well, did Zach ask about me? Like, I was like, did you really just ask Paul's fiance, did her fiance ask about you? Girl, what? The audacity, the caucasity of all of this entire conversation, okay? And then for Micah to feel a certain type of way, like, yeah, y'all were friends, but Irina was so disrespectful to so many people in this house and stole somebody else's, well, really, that's on Zach. But why did you think that you would be exempt from the same behavior that you saw her exhibit to all the other women in the house? It was just very confusing to me how Micah was even, I don't know how Micah was upset in either situation because you knew Irina was trash. And if you weren't being disrespectful to Paul, you would have saw this whole thing happening between them. So it was just the audacity of Micah this entire episode for me. But I was happy she did, like, read her for Phil. She was like, I was your friend. Nobody else liked you. Like, did I make a bad choice? Like, yes, because you were being a mean girl right there with her. It's fine. It's fine. So that whole meetup, but when she really said, like, did he ask about me? Like, and, like, I feel like she would really still try to go after Paul. I was just like, Irina, like, for real? Like, she down bad. I just didn't understand it. At this point, Jackie and Marsha are still cute together. Well, they're having this lava lamp discussion. It kind of gave me pause because I want to know what's going on with her and her parents. Just because, you know, it seems that her parents might not have had the best reaction to her going on the show. But what I do know is, girl, if you had a man that's going to sit up here and go to the store and buy ingredients to make you breakfast made of raspberry strawberry compote, okay, from scratch, put some powdered sugar on the top of that, okay? IHOP ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing on. Wait, no, IHOP ain't got nothing on Chef Marshall. But and he offered to wash the dishes and was ready to cook you another batch when you said you were still hungry and made you a plate. Girl, he's a keeper, Marshall. If you need somebody, you can come cook for me. Let me lose my weight first, because I can tell I'm gonna gain some weight being with somebody like Marshall. But you can definitely cook for me. Now, I don't know what's going on. Or did I just not pay attention before? But that scene with Brett in them boxers with them abs, my man's need like a little Calvin Klein ab. But I was like, Tiffany, you working with all of this? I hope y'all work out. But if y'all don't, I'm just playing. Let me be respectful to their relationship because I love them. I want what you got, Tiffany. I want what you got. So I did think it was weird when Tiffany and her friends, like when her friends met Brett, because like production didn't even really let her introduce the black friends, and then they barely spoke the whole time. Luckily, her other friends was like, I need my friends to talk about me the way that they talking about her, got her crying at the table. But it did like give me pause. I don't know if anyone else noticed that or thought it was weird. Maybe it's just me, but you know, I'm just telling y'all how I felt about it. But she ain't never beating them sleep charges, okay? The sleeping allegations. But I feel seen, okay? Because I like to go to bed early too. But let's get to episode 7. So Chelsea did all this like stressing Kwame out for her dad to be chill as hell. Like, girl, you made this a way bigger thing than what it needed to be. And I just don't understand why you make little things bigger. And I be feeling like this is why Kwame be stressed the hell out all the time. And I really hope that Kwame learns to use his voice a little bit more. Because when he was talking about how, you know, he lives 3 hours away, he lives in Portland, and, you know, he has his friends there, and, you know, she was kind of dismissive of that. And I understand why Kwame feels like he's having to compromise way more than Chelsea is, but also, Kwame, you need to use your voice and kind of speak up and say that this is an issue. Now, I still don't understand why we still be having people with dirty houses. Y'all know y'all finna be on TV. I don't know if they just feel like, well, I'm not gonna get chose, so I don't have to worry about it. But like, as soon as you knew, like, you could have asked production, like, hey, can I get a maid service to come real quick before y'all come up in my house? I just don't understand why it's season 4 and we're still having these issues of people having dirty houses. Now, his wasn't as trifling as Cole's was last season, but I just didn't understand. But shout out to a man who organizes his girls' underwear drawer. I really love that. I really did like that. I was like, okay, it's a thought that counts. It's little things like that that does a lot for me. But we see that Kwame's mom is not okay with this situation. And I was thinking, I feel like my parents are so desperate at this point for me to get married that she would be okay with it. But I could definitely see, like, somebody's parents not being okay. You know, somebody with a darker melanated skin not being okay with something like this. And, you know, she just wasn't okay with it. And I always find it weird that when Kwame's having crucial conversations, that he always sounds like he's at work. He was like, okay, well, you know, hopefully this could be better the next time. I was just like, Kwame, I just need you to let your emotions flow. Because it's clear that things like bother you and you just don't say it. And I don't want him to hold all of that in because I just want better for him, all right? Just love yourself, Kwame. Love yourself and your skin color, okay? All right. Paul and Micah. So Micah's meeting Paul's mom and she loves her. And we make a very startling discovery in this whole episode because is Paul like dating his mom? Because that just kind of gave me pause. But what sent me to the pits of hell for laughing is when she went to Paul's house. I just want to know what Paul's house smelled like. Because when he said he was picking up couches off the side of the road, and it just looked like a whole bunch of random objects were placed together and I didn't understand. And he said, well, I just got my clothes that I wear on the desk. I was like, so you only go between 10 shirts? Like, I was just kind of confused by that. Like, where the rest of your clothes, Paul? Like, I don't understand. Then he had not the popcorn ceilings, but he got popcorn walls at that. I was just like, and he was like, could you see yourself staying here? Hell no, anybody finna stay there, Paul. Were you serious when you asked Micah, of all people, this question, like, do you see yourself here? Hell no, she don't see herself there. I don't even see myself going to visit you there, okay? So, still tripping off of this. Like, what about your house made anyone feel like they would want to stay there, Paul? I don't. I'm going to hell. It's okay. I might as well just accept it at this point. I do want to know what Micah does in Arizona, that she splits her time between Seattle and Arizona. Because I just needed more info, because if his work is in Seattle, I just feel like, do we be having logical conversations? Like, Kwame's like, I want to stay in Portland, but you work from home. And she goes into the office. Like, the math just don't be mathing with some of these questions they be asking. So we see that Tiffany goes to Brett's apartment. And, you know, he was like, do you see yourself moving here? And I was just like, where, Brett? What space do you have that's going to allow Tiffany to move in? I was just very confused by all of this once again. But, you know, she called him Bougie Brett because he had all the high tech, okay? Because he getting them checks in Geneva, okay? But I do like how he was like, you know, we can move into a bigger apartment. Like, if you like it here, we can get a bigger space. It's no problem. And, you know, it's an interesting conversation they have because there really are only none. Like, they're progressing faster than the other couples. So, like, they're the least toxic. They have no issues. It's truly making me believe in love. I like how they get into the conversation about money. But I thought it was weird how Tiffany brought up how much he spends, which I like the finer things in life. I work hard, and if I work hard, I'm going to buy stuff as long as I know I can afford it and still be able to save money at the same time. But I didn't like how she was like, well, I wouldn't want nobody telling me how to spend my money. So then why are you doing the same thing to Brett? I think you should have conversations about budget and finances. But baby, you was making it seem like Brett don't make no money. Like, I was just kind of confused about that whole conversation. But, you know, I did have a mini heart attack when she was cooking and the pot fell off the rack. I wish I could have seen me. I jumped out of my seat like it was finna fall on me. It just disrupted my spirit. But I want to know, what's the food good? Y'all didn't show us no finished product, no nothing. Production. Get it together. Sorry, I just got angry for no reason. But Jackie and Marshall, so Jackie is still giving me pause because she has her moments where she just be needing to take a break from life. And so she was weird about meeting his family. and talking about, well, this is a lie. And I'm like, girl, you on a show called Love is Blind. Like, I feel like that was a lie, but you was okay with it. So she is meeting with his family. And so he was like, well, do you want me to circle the block with them or something? And then she was like, no, let's just get it done. I was like, girl, this is not like a work task. Like, she was just really blowing me with how she was responding to this whole thing. And so then when she told him, like, your energy is just making me more stressed, I was like, his energy making you stressed? Like, bitch, you wait until literally they pulling up, parking outside to say that you got an issue, like, that you don't want to do this. I just don't understand. But I was happy that she got it together before they came, because his family was really nice and it seemed that they liked her and she seemed to be on good behavior for now. But what I was confused about was, why would you go on a show that your parents weren't okay with what you were doing and then saying that your decision is contingent on how they feel? That just didn't make sense to me. And I feel like there's just something deeper, because it feels like she likes Marshall, but then she don't like Marshall. And I don't know if she knows that Marshall is the type of person she should want, but maybe she's just not feeling attracted to Marshall. Because I've had that, been with somebody that, like, you're perfect. You're everything I want, but I still don't feel a connection with you. And maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I need her to figure it out. So Netflix has forced Bliss to go on another date with Zach, and, I'm just really confused. And he's talking about, like, I'm in love. And I'm like, you're in love with your number two because your number one didn't pan out because she didn't like you. I'm never letting it go. I just want y'all to know that. So Bliss up here talking about she's playing hard to get the whole time. I'm like, girl, just stop playing hard to get at this point, because this date number two should have never made it to a date number one. So it's no point in you playing hard to get, because you're really just playing yourself. So when he had the audacity to be bold and be like, have you seen my bedroom? I'll show you later. I was like, Bliss, get your ish and get the hell up and go. Like, go. Because the audacity of Zach to think that you're going to play me and then I'm going to give it up to you. I'm going to give you some cutty. And you play me like that? That don't even make sense to me. So it's clear that she's falling for him again, which it just disgusts me. And then they go on a boat. So I know this hoe finna propose to her. And I'm just like, Bliss, stand the F up, okay? Only say yes if you negotiated more money from Netflix, okay? So I didn't like the Digipet slander. As someone who had plenty of Tamagotchis, Digipets, I had everybody, my kids always grew up to live their full potential. I didn't like the Digipet slander because I just thought it was disrespectful. But his entire proposal was just awkward as hell. It just didn't make any sense. He's like, you make me feel warm, but you was just talking about how you was cold on the boat. Like, it just don't make sense to me. But he was like, you're my person. And I know no matter what, I would have been back to you. I mean, you mean after you spun the block with Irina and she didn't want you and that's the only reason why you're here with Bliss? Like, I just don't understand. Like, are y'all okay with this? Because I'm not okay with this. He's like, you're his second choice. If Irina would have liked him, he would still be with Irina. He wouldn't be with you. This ain't love. I'm trying to be on TV. Let me just calm down because I feel like I'm going to have an asthma attack. Okay. Let's talk about Tiffany and Brett for episode 8. So, Brett can cook too. Okay. He look good in some boxer briefs, got abs, and he could cook. Okay. I just love them so much. Like, I really hope they work out. I like the story how she tells him about how she loves his skin and how her grandparents got married after 6 weeks and they was together for 60 years. I was here for all of this. Paul was meeting Micah's parents and Micah's dad is named Paul. Paul was okay with him. I thought it was interesting that she told her parents, like, basically she said she went in the process thinking the process wasn't going to work because she was like, I'm not going to find anyone. So I was like, so why are we going on a show if you were so pessimistic about it? It's giving, I just want to be seen for TV, but that's just me. So Paul wanted her dad over, and I thought it was so funny because he was like, well, I'm good with him. And then she was like, well, I'm just scared that he's going to break her heart. And he was like, oh, I didn't think of that. I said, see, Daddy was so smitten by Paul's name being Paul that he wasn't thinking about what could actually happen. But let me talk about her trash-ass friends. Because hating-ass Shelby and co-signing-ass Michaela, they getting on my nerves. And I'm going to hope that they were just drunk this entire encounter because they're the most terrible friends ever. Like, Shelby asking, how serious are you? Bitch, what kind of, how serious? I'm engaged. I'm going to get married in 2 weeks. What you mean, how serious am I? Dumbass question. So, this is such a stupid. How serious are you, girl? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. So she makes a comment how Shelby's terminated relationships. Yeah, I can see her hating ass terminated relationships, and I can see why you single if these your damn friends asking these dumbass questions. So they're just asking dumb questions at this point. I think even he's getting annoyed because he's trying to answer thoughtfully, but it's just so dumb that he's just kind of over it. But what was crazy was when Micah kept excusing her friend's poor behavior, because I would have checked my friends. I'd have been like, hey, babe, can you go get me a drink so I can talk to my friends? And I would have cursed them out. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's going on right now? So when Paul told Shelby, like, I don't really care what you think, I started laughing. But how Micah gonna check him, but she ain't checked her friends being disrespectful like the entire time? And so he says that he's going to the bathroom. And then hating ass Shelby was like, she was like, this just isn't a person. I don't like him for you. I'm just like, she's just a hater. Like, you really get rid of both of them. I really hope that they were drunk. But something just tells me that this is how they are, especially because you were so easy to be a mean girl with Irina. So I really hope that it was the liquor, but I'm starting to feel like it wasn't. And they were just terrible people. I just don't like them. Also, too, Paul, stop taking dating advice from Zach, because, like, he can't even make Bliss feel like she ain't the second choice, so you still taking advice for him. I just don't understand it. And then production know that they going to hell for inviting Amber to the party, but I was very proud of Paul. He said, hey, I'm not going to get in this mess that we see Jackie and Marshall in. I'm going to go stand by my fiance. I ain't saying ish to Amber, all right? So, Kwame and Chelsea. Let's talk about Kwame and Chelsea. And I think I still got to talk about Bliss and Zach. Oh, they get on my damn nerves. So, I feel like Kwame's always being held hostage by Chelsea. Like, all the time, I just feel like he's being held hostage. They go to watch Rocky together, and then she starts talking about kids, and I just feel like she's telling him he's not compromising, but he's asking logical questions like, can we just be cool together for once? Like, you work late, you work 12 hours a day, how the hell you gonna have time to take care of a kid? It's gonna be me sitting up here babysitting this kid like I be babysitting Rocky all damn day. So I understood what he was saying, and it's just like, for her to say he's not trying to compromise or like that's marriage, like, girl, you ain't really did not an ounce of compromising yet. So I'm just kind of confused about this whole conversation and why you're trying to speed everything up. Like, just take the chill pill. Everything don't have to work on a certain schedule, Chelsea. So I just thought it was weird. Like, when he finally did speak up, like, she had such an issue with it. I didn't like how she handled it. But I am happy that he did use his voice and he spoke up to Chelsea in the first place. But they have a birthday party for Chelsea. He's like, I'm excited to see everybody. Let's be honest. He was excited to see Micah. And I was very confused by this whole conversation because, Kwame, why are you asking 2 weeks before y'all supposed to get married? Do you feel like you made the right choice? And I was happy that Micah was like, well, Beach, what you asking me this question for when you got a whole fiance? Like, the math just isn't mathing for me either. So we see that, you know, at the end, you know, he says, you have a special place in my heart. And I was just like, baby, let it go. This girl don't want you. She never wants you. Ain't gonna ever want you. Just let it go and be happy with Chelsea, because the girl actually do love your ass. Sorry. They frustrate me, as you can see. So Kwame, you know, they sing happy birthday to her. And I was really confused, Kwame, why you didn't bring out your guitar and sing a song to her? Like, you should have sung for her birthday. That's your fiance. Act like you care, all right? But let me go ahead and talk about Bliss and Zach, because they get on my nerves every episode. Unfortunately, she said yes to him, like, girl. And then I thought to myself, and this is why I'm going to the pits of hell again, I said, was that the same ring that you gave Irina, or did you get a different ring? I just want to know. I know y'all was thinking it too. Don't act like I was the only person thinking it. But when Bliss was like, you better not F up again. Okay, or what? What you gonna do? Take him back again? Like, you took him back this time when you shouldn't have took him back? Like, what is you saying that? What is that going to do? I don't understand. So she asked him what was the moment that he knew he wanted to be with her and marry her. And he was like, when I got back from Mexico. And then I was like, you mean when Irina said she didn't want to be with you no more? Like, is that the I'm sorry. I'm never gonna believe in this relationship. So they go to their new place, and I'm happy that Bliss was able to tell him, do not put your dirty ass luggage on the bed. Just no home training. No home training. I don't like how dismissive Zach was when Bliss was trying to express her feelings about why she feels like, you know, being his second choice bothers her, because I think her feelings are very valid. And I hate that he was being so condescending in that conversation. And you can even tell that she was getting annoyed with it, because at the end of the day, she would not be here if Irina reciprocated her feelings to you. Like, let's just call it what it is. And the fact that he's not even trying to take ownership or just admit that he messed up, it just doesn't make sense. And he really don't seem remorseful about any of his decisions, because I think in his mind, like, he feels like everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. And so, Bliss, you will forever be his second choice. And what we've seen in Love is Blind history, it never works out when you're somebody's second choice. So when they showed up to the party, I know everybody was trying not to laugh at Bliss, because they just like, girl, you were dumb. Micah couldn't even keep a straight face when she was saying, I wish them all the best of luck. I know she was just like, Bliss, girl, you was dumb. Stand up. Just please stand up, okay? So I knew all these couples finna talk about them when they got home. And then when Bliss and Micah were talking and he came and gave her a kiss, I was like, sir, just go somewhere. Okay, we get it, y'all together. Like, go somewhere. I know, I'm sorry. It's too much for me. I didn't like how Bliss and Micah were still going in about Irina, because, like, why are y'all letting this girl live rent-free in y'all brains? Like, y'all got the man. Y'all still on the show. Like, just be okay with that. I just don't understand why they were so still caught up over her. So, basically, Marshall and Jackie, they not doing too good. So, she told Marshall to boss up, and he not doing grown man stuff. I don't know what that really means, because my man cooking for me and stuff, that's all I need, okay, and blow my back out. But we see that he left for a couple of days and came back. She was packing her stuff, and so, you know, he was basically saying that she said that he needed to be more aggressive, and, you know, he needs to initiate sex and things like that. They haven't been smashing, so I guess she was irritated because she wasn't getting her back blown out. And so when he clapped, I was like, oh! When she said, who you clapping at? I felt that too. I was like, who are you clapping at? Like, when he did that clap, I said, I know he did it. I know he did it. It was too much, y'all. So, but he was like, well, you ain't done nothing to make me feel wanted. In which I wish people understood this. If you want someone to make you feel a certain type of way, you got to make sure that you're already giving that person that same energy back, because it's kind of hard to give you something that you're not giving yourself. So when Marshall said that he saw her as a project and felt she had potential, I was like, Marshall, these choices of words are not wording right now, because I was like, how was she supposed to respond to that? So he was like, well, you've never been in a real relationship before. You're not emotionally available. I said, well, Jackie, he's right. You haven't been emotionally available. I feel like he could have said it better, but he was right. So I just feel like in this whole situation, like, Marshall was just giving so much more than what she was giving back to him. And I feel like at this point, you're begging her to stay. And I don't want to have to beg somebody to be with me. So I just don't like how all of this is, like, happening right now. And the way that she just switched in the middle of the argument and went and hugged Marshall and started crying, saying, I'm sorry. I don't like this. And clearly she's going through something. And she just needs to have healing. And this is why I feel like therapy should be a mandatory component in Love is Blind going forward. Because they're just finding broken people, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But what I also didn't like, so production chose violence again by inviting Josh to the party. And when Josh went up to Marshall and was like, he was just doing too much. I was like, are they finna get into a fight? Because, like, why are you touching on me? Why are you talking to me like we friends? You know we not friends. Like, you sitting up here talking to everybody like, you know, I felt like he tricked me into not being with her. Like, boy, shut up. He was just doing too much. And the way I could hear Josh yelling, every time they went to a side conversation in the episode, I could hear Josh yelling the entire time. It was sending me. But it just didn't make sense. And when Brett and Marshall are having a conversation, he basically alluded to that she allegedly, like, wanted him to slap her around. And I was just like, and she's never said I love you and stuff. This is giving very toxic relationship vibes. And I was like, Marshall, you need to just run, baby. Just run. Because this don't even say she wants you to slap her around. Like, what? So Marshall was doing too much. When Jackie came, he tried to put the jacket on her. Like, it's baby, we're going to freeze, okay? And I'm going to give them a serve. Like, why are you sitting up here That's your prize. That's your woman. That's your fiance. Like, why are you? He was doing too much. He was doing too much. Okay. So when Josh went up to Jackie, I was just like, he's so messy, and I don't understand. Even when after Josh talked to Marshall, he was like, "The F was that?" I was just kind of confused. It was clear that Josh was under the influence of a couple of things, allegedly. So yeah, it was just too much for me. When Micah started asking Jackie questions, she was like, "Oh, you federal. You asking a lot of questions trying to be up in my business." I was like, exactly, because, like, Micah, go worry about why you don't like Paul, okay? And stop asking me questions about my relationship, okay? Josh comes up to talk to her, and then he starts professing his love to her. She's like, you ain't never said none of this stuff in the pod, so, like, why are you saying it now? Like, which I was just like, what's the point? Like, you should have been doing this in the pod. But it seemed like she might have been falling for it, so I don't know what's going to happen, but Josh know that he didn't have to call Marshall NBA cryboy. I was just really done at that point. And the way that he was sitting so close to her, I just felt like he was being disrespectful. She was being disrespectful. Because I was just like, why are we having these conversations? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know what's going to happen between Marshall and Jackie. I think Marshall needs to just call it quits, because it's clear that she don't like him like that. And it's clear that there's something else deeper that's going on. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like it's about to get real messy. So yeah, those are my thoughts about these episodes 6 through 8. Let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the couples? What was some crazy moments for you? Let me know in the comment section below, what did you all think? Make sure you stay tuned and you're subscribed to the channel, because I do have interviews with the cast members and more episodes coming, and I will be doing a live discussion about Love is Blind on Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So once again, my name is Sharonda from Payorwait, and these are my thoughts on Love is Blind. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again,